Inside of my trading journey, I've generated thousands and thousands of dollars in verified prop firm payouts, passed many, many accounts, and also gotten a lot of my students profitable, and they've gotten large payouts as well. Inside this video, I'm going to be showing you the 5 indicators that I use on a daily basis to generate thousands of dollars per week and sometimes even per day in prop firm payouts. Okay, by the end of this video, you will know how to get the indicators, how to set them up on your chart, and how to use them in the most efficient way possible. So before we do get started, all indicators featured in today's video are available at oracleindicators.com. Some of the indicators are completely free, and our more premium tools come with a free trial, so you can test everything before committing. They are also priced to be accessible, so the cost is never a barrier. A quick disclaimer, these indicators are strictly educational tools designed to help you read price action. They do not constitute financial advice. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the first indicator that I use. And that is going to be the quarterly theory cycles, Oracle. So every single indicator that you guys see that has Oracle without a plus on the end, that is a completely free indicator, okay? So this first one here is completely free. You guys can search it up right on TradingView, or you can go to oracleindicators.com and claim free access to this one, okay? Essentially, what this does, the features of it, it allows you to have quarter color customization. Essentially, what this indicator does is display the quarterly theory quarters on your chart for you. So you guys can clearly trade quarterly theory and see price divided into 4. Okay, so the features of this indicator is quarter color customization. So you can customize the colors of the quarters. You know, maybe you don't want them the classic gray, red, green, blue. You can have whatever color you want. You can show up to 6 cycles at once. So, you know, it'll display the quarters either at the top or bottom of your chart, and you can have it show the cycle that you're looking at, so the micro, then the 90, then the daily, then the weekly, then the monthly, if you really wanted to, okay? I personally just use 2, but we'll jump into that shortly. You can have it show up to 6 cycles at once, so like we just mentioned, quarters below and above charts, so if you prefer to have it above, which I personally do, you can, or you can have it show below, okay? And there's also an option for the quarter dividers, so if you want to see the quarters displayed at the top, while also having dividers come down onto your chart, so you can also see it within the candles, you can also have the option for that, okay? So it's an all-in-one indicator, so there's less indicators to manage, very customizable, fast loading times and good performance, options for quarters above and below, and show up to 6 cycles simultaneously. And if you want to grab access to this one, quarterly theory cycles, Oracle on TradingView. So now let's jump into the charts and show you guys how to grab it and how I personally have mine set up. All right, guys, so inside the charts, this is, of course, the quarterly theory cycles indicator. If you do want access to it, go to the search bar, search quarterly theory cycles, Oracle, like that, and then it will show up here, okay? So make sure to favorite it, and then also drop a boost and a comment if you guys do enjoy it, okay? Now, these are my current settings I am running for the indicator. So I have layers to show 2, all of these ticked on, show on chart cycles and only. Now, if you want it to show below, you untick both of these 2 here. You untick this one and then this one here, okay? So in that specific order, and as you can see, it will then go to the bottom of my chart. I personally prefer it up top. I think it's just cleaner. It's like more out the way, you know, it doesn't overlap with the candles at the bottom. So you just click on here, and then it will go to the top. If you want it to show on both, the top and bottom, then you just turn only off, okay? Now, if you want to change the colors of the actual quarters, as you can see, all here, click on it and just choose a color that you want. Now, Q0 is for Friday or a Joker week, okay? So as you guys know, the weekly cycle, Friday technically isn't a quarter, so it will be colored as this color here, okay? And then same for a Joker week, this will be the color of the Joker week right there. Now, the text itself on the quarters, you can change the color of that as well. If you want it to black, as you can see there, black looks actually pretty clean. I think maybe I'll go for like a grayish color. Yeah, you know, nice and subtle right there, okay? Dividers, if you don't want them on, just turn the opacity to 0 and it will remove them, okay? I personally prefer them, so I'll leave them on for now, okay? So those are my settings. Feel free to play around with it. Nothing too crazy for this one. Click OK, and then as you guys can see, it will show right there, okay? If you do want more cycles, then just change this number. So 3 cycles, it will show. Currently, I am on the 15, so it's showing the current, which is daily cycle, 1 above, weekly cycle, and then here is the monthly cycle. Okay, now if I go back down, turn this to 2, it will then show me the daily cycle at the bottom and then 1 above, which is the weekly cycle. Okay, so as you guys can see, it's just a nice way to view the quarters. You know, we're on the 15th, so we know this is Asia, London, New York AM, New York PM. You know, this is all of Wednesday, this is all of Thursday, Tuesday, Monday, etc., etc. Okay, so that is exactly how I have my quarter one set up. and you guys can copy that or customize it to your liking. If you do want to remove the bottom bit as well, so once you've got it all added, what you can do, click on this. As you can see, there's like a little like box there. If you find that annoying, click up top right, and there you go, it removes it, okay? And if you want to change the settings again, click down here, click on the box, and it will pop up down there, and you can customize it there, okay? So yeah, that's how I have that one set up. And if you want to access, oracleindicators.com or search it on TradingView, okay? So this one is a part of the premium tools. However, there is a free trial that you guys can get and test out before committing, okay? Now, the quarterly theory toolkit is essentially an all-in-one quarterly theory indicator. It will show you all of your quarterly theory concepts. It will show you your PSPs, sequential SMTs, quarter dividers, defining range, true opens, precision candles, high probability gaps, whatever it is, it's inside of here, okay? So you can have it also show alerts, so you can set alerts for those specific concepts. So for example, a weekly cycle sequential SMT, once it occurs in price, you will then be alerted, okay? Again, it's an all-in-one indicator, less indicators to manage, very customizable, fast loading times with good performance, auto mode for multiple asset classes, so you can have it go on auto triad. So whenever you pull up NQ, it will automatically compare the indices triad, NQ, ES, YM, okay? And you can also customize the triad that you are viewing, so you can have it set to potentially an intermarket triad, NQ, DXY, and one of the stock bonds, whatever you want, okay? You can have it completely customized to your guys' liking, okay? So let's go ahead now and jump into the chart, show you guys how to get access to this one and how I personally have mine set up and how the features work inside of it. So now let's jump into the second indicator that I use. So now for the quarterly theory toolkit Oracle Plus indicator, you can go ahead, go to indicators, search it here, quarterly theory toolkit Oracle Plus, and it will show up here if you spell it correctly, like that, right? And it will have a lock next to it. Just click on it and it'll bring you to the actual page, or you can click on my name, Bucko Trades, right there, and it will then pull up access to grab the indicator. Click on it like this right here, and it will show my scripts here. Click on scripts, and it is the quarterly theory toolkit one here. Click on it, and then you can get access at oracleindicators.com, or you can just search right now oracleindicators.com and grab access from there, okay? So that's how you get access to this one here. There is a 3-day free trial. If you don't like it, just don't use it, okay? For me, this is probably my favorite indicator out of the 5 because this does most things for me, okay? Click on it, look at the customizations, guys. We've got colorblind mode if you're colorblind, text color. This is just in general for all the text colors. So if we change this one to like yellow, as you can see here, it will change to yellow right there when it updates. Just give it a few seconds. So we have firstly colorblind mode. So this is for when it shows sequential SMTs at the bottom. So we go to the 5-minute, for example. Hopefully we have a sequential SMT here. Let's see. Yep, we do. So if we click on colorblind, in the bottom right where it shows the sequential SMT for text, it will change to an icon of a chart going up rather than just a green dot, okay? So that's for all of my colorblind people out there. Don't worry, we got you guys. Auto triad, so this is just how it connects to the triad that you're viewing based on the asset that you've got open. You can untick this and just customize the assets if you prefer. I leave it on. Sequential SMT, lower time frame text, mid time frame text. Now lower time frame is the time frame that you're on, the one that you're currently viewing, the cycle that you're viewing. Mid time frame is one directly above, okay? So lower time frame text, if we're on the 5-minute, it shows me the 90-minute cycle down there. And also, if you have this mid time frame, it will show one cycle above. So if there's any daily cycle, which there isn't right now, or it would show it there, it will show it right next to it as well, okay? Position, this is just where it shows it. Now you don't need to have the text ones on if you don't want to. If we move this to the side, you can see we have lines marking out sequential SMTs as well, okay? The high and then the low right there, the low down there, okay? It says the asset that created the sequential SMT. So if you can see the asset that you're looking at, NQ, ran out the low, and it says ES here, that means ES was the failure swing, okay? Now, low time frame asset, you can also have it show mid time frame asset and mid time frame lines. So this will, again, show the 90-minute cycle and also the daily cycle, okay? Now, as you can see, the daily cycle is more of like a dash line. You change it down here, customize it. So if you wanted to show one cycle above, you can have that one like green, for example. So you know this is one cycle above sequential SMT. I personally don't have it show just because I don't want too many lines on my chart. I just want to keep it nice and simple. Just, the cycle that I'm viewing, I know that I've got, the sequential SMT there essentially, okay? So these are all on the 5 minutes, so these are all 90-minute cycle sequential SMTs. Now, a great filter is delete failed sequential SMTs. I have this on. If we turn it off, as you guys can see, it will look a lot messier, okay? Give it a few seconds to load up. Maybe it won't look too messy here. Yeah, so you can see a few more lines got added. Essentially what this does is it'll show all the sequential SMTs, even if they've failed, okay? So obviously failed means, ran below, ran above, whatever. I'd keep it on, again, just to clear up my chart and just have it show me sequential SMTs that I should only care about, not the ones that have failed. To view the ones that have failed, it's good for backtesting. I'm not backtesting currently, so I have that turned on. Lower time frame SMT start, mid time frame SMT start. This just puts a little diamond sort of symbol above the candle where the sequential SMT was first formed, okay? As you guys can see right there. Now, this is what I used to use before we coded the TCIC indicator to identify the TCIC candle, but I no longer use that anymore, okay? So I turn that off. Dividers and labels, self-explanatory, it just, marks out the dividers for you. You can change the colors of those, dotted, dash, whatever. True opens, again, pretty self-explanatory. It shows lower time frame, which is the cycle that you're viewing. Mid time frame is one directly above. So I keep them both on so I can see stacked opens. So true session is above the true day. I know that we have bearish stacked opens right there. Okay, let's keep it going. Change the color of those, dotted, dashed, etc., etc. Previous cycle range lines, and you can delete those as well. I personally just have those on. Essentially, I'll just mark the previous cycles high and low and equilibrium. I personally don't use it. Defining range, pretty solid. Again, I just don't use it though. Turn it on and show you guys kind of how it looks. It does look pretty clean, to be fair. Defining range is Q1s split into 3, and then the final 2/3 it will mark the defining range from, essentially. Okay. So as you guys can see, Q1 here, split into thirds, ignore the first third, and then pull a fib from the high to the low, and it anchors it for you. So then all you need to do now is pull out your fib tool, right? Fib retracement, pull it from the high to the low. Obviously, make sure you have the fib settings on, which I do not have currently, and they are standard deviations, high to the low. And there we go. As you can see, just easily like that, plotted my defining range. Okay, so pretty cool if you guys use the defining range. I personally don't, so I do not have that on. So I can turn this off. Standard deviations, so this uses the previous cycle, previous quarter, I believe it is. I'm not too sure. I don't use this one either, and it essentially plots the standard deviation for you on that previous quarter or the cycle. Now, high probability gaps is something that more or less I discovered myself. So this is not specifically quality theory, but they involve gaps that form with quality theory concepts. Okay, the ones that I used to use is gap after PSP, gap overlapping with true open. Okay, this is gap plus precision swing point and gap plus precision candle. Now, if we turn this on, you guys can see it does mark some very powerful gaps. So as you can see, red is bearish, right? And also green is obviously bullish. Okay, there isn't actually any bullish ones that I can see. Hasn't been any for a while, it seems like, right? But you guys can see how powerful these gaps are. These are essentially high probability gaps, good for entry points, good for like reversals, etc., etc. And if they get inverse, they then become quite high probability inversion gaps. Okay, you can see this one held up top. This one more or less held as well. This one not as clean. It got inversed, closed back down below. But then as you guys can see, once we did eventually get back above it, look how nicely it held off that retest right there. Okay, so there's that. You guys can experiment with that if you would like to. Like I said, I personally don't use that anymore though. More or less just because I don't want too much on my chart. I like to keep it nice and simple because obviously I'm live trading every single day to my Discord, creating content for you guys. So I don't want too much clutter on my chart. If I weren't doing all that, I probably would still use them, to be honest. They are very powerful. Precision candles, as you guys can see, just, marks out the precision candles on the chart for you. So if it loads up a second, oh wait, I need to hold up, of course. We need to click these on here. Got it set to purple at the moment. You guys can customize that to whatever color you would like to. So as you guys can see, a lot of precision candles there. Again, just don't use it. It's just like a bit too messy in my opinion. If you wanted it more subtle, you can actually have it just show like just the border, for example, just the wick. So if we turn this on, turn border off, turn this one off to 2, it will just mark out the wicks as purple essentially. Okay, so when that loads up, give it a second. As you guys can see, very subtle, but the wicks are actually purple. So yeah, you can just have it kind of, show the wicks. It's very subtle right there, but as you can see, purple wicks right there. If you wanted it a bit more obvious, you could make them red or something like that right there. Okay, again, pretty cool. I just don't use precision candles personally. Now, precision swing points, you turn this on, filter by true open, filter by sequential SMT, TPD, and show unfiltered precision swing points. Okay, so this unfiltered one is if you use filters, it will show them as the colors you have selected here. So green and red, for example. And if you have filters, green and red will be the ones that follow the filters. If you want it to show unfiltered ones, turn this on, and then these are the unfiltered ones here. Okay, so these are the ones that don't follow the filters you have selected, right? So click OK. So green and red ones follow the filters. So red, as you can see, pretty much marks so many highs. Like PSPs are really powerful, super clean. Obviously the green ones as well just mark the bullish ones, and then like the cyan blue color is a PSP that doesn't follow a filter, and you can see these ones are a lot more prone to failing right there. Whereas if you filter them out correctly, they will hold a lot more. Okay, so there's the PSPs. Again, I don't use them personally because PSP isn't a part of my model, but they are great for people that do use PSPs. Now, first fair value gap after sequential SMT, very powerful. Turn this on, customize the colors right there. And essentially what this will do is after a sequential SMT has taken place, it will then mark out the first gap that forms and the first inversion gap. So inversions are marked via the lines and normal gaps are marked via the candle, like whole painted color. And look how clean it is, guys. Like I've spoken on this in a YouTube video before. The first presented gap after a sequential SMT is a very powerful entry point. So as you guys can see, holding just very cleanly all the way down the lows. Bearish one didn't really work too much there. Bullish one here, super clean. Bearish one there at the top, very, very clean stuff. Okay, so yeah, I would recommend this one. Again, I just don't use it just because it is cluttering my chart a little bit. But if you guys don't mind it as much, it is very, very powerful. Okay, and then last but not least, we have the watermark, which is in the top right here. Shows the asset, the trade that you're looking at, the time frame, and then QT toolkit. You can have it show what you want as well. So if you put hello, it will change it to that as well. Okay, if we click on custom phrase, give it a second, see if it loads up here. It's custom phrase on, and it should show it here when it loads. Give it a second. Yep, there you go. So you guys can have that if you want to have, you know, maybe your username or your social media handle, whatever it may be. Okay, you can have it show where you want. You can make it larger, you can make it huge. As you can see, we can have a massive, massive watermark. I personally just have mine on small, I think it is, or normal, I'm not too sure. Let's give it a second. I think it might be the small one. Oh no, I think it's normal, but I do like it on small actually. We'll keep it on small for now. So yeah, that's essentially the Quarterly Theory Toolkit Oracle Plus at oracleindicators.com. You can grab access to it. This is probably the best indicator out of the suite, okay? And now the third indicator that I use is the TCISD Oracle Plus. Again, this is part of the premium suite. This one is what I use for my entry technique. So a lot of you guys may know that I use a true change in the state of delivery to enter my trades from, and this indicator right here essentially marks it out on my chart for me, so I don't need to do any of the hard work. Okay, so it shows true change in the state of deliveries, it shows inverse true change in the state of deliveries, sequential SMT, and also quarter dividers. Okay, and with the TCISD indicator too, you can set filters, so you can have it show one stage sequential SMT must occur before a TCISD appears, two stage, premium and discount, and true opens. So for example, if you're below a true open, a bullish TCISD will only show when you're below that true open. Okay, now again, you can identify both TCISDs and ITCISDs, very customizable, fast loading times with good performance, auto mode for multiple asset classes, so the auto triad feature, and alerts for preset conditions, so you can have it alert you when, for example, a bullish TCISD below the true open in a discount occurs. So let's jump into the chart now and I'll show you guys exactly how I have mine set up. So now guys, we have our third indicator here on the charts, which is the true change in the state of delivery, the TCISD. So now this is my entry technique. This is my entry model. So this indicator is a must have for me. Again, if you want access, go to indicators, TCISD, Oracle Plus, like that, click on my name and you can see the script on there, or you can go to oracleindicators.com and grab access on there. 3-day, free trial. If you don't like it, you don't need to buy it. It's very cheap. I think this one's around $15 per month. So very, very affordable. Okay. So what are my settings? Okay. These are my settings, text color. Now, if you have the Quarterly Theory Toolkit, you want to make the text color white and opacity 0, okay? Because what this indicator does, it requires you to have the show sequential SMT and text box turned on to see the TCISDs. If you turn it off, you'll see the TCISDs will go. And the reason behind this is obviously the TCISD must form if a sequential SMT takes place. So this has to be on. Now, if you have the text color turned on, it will show it in the bottom right exactly as the QT toolkit does. Okay, so if you have it shown the QT toolkit and you also have the TCISD indicator, best case scenario is that you just turn the opacity to 0. Therefore, it won't show an overlap in the bottom right. Okay, if you don't have the toolkit one, then that's fine. You can have it show if you would like to. Okay, so yeah, that's all those settings there. Dividers and labels. Again, if you've got the toolkit or you've got, the Quarterly Theory cycles, you don't need the dividers again. But if you've only got the TCISD, feel free to turn them on. It's an option. You can use them if you guys want. Okay, true CISD. These are the main filters now. So obviously, show true CISD. Show the label. So this, actually says TCISD right next to it. Show unfiltered TCISDs is if you guys use the filters and you want it to, the ones that follow the filters will be the colors here, green and red for me, and then unfiltered will be whatever color you select. So it'll show TCISDs that don't align with the filters right there that you have selected. Me personally, I don't use any filters with it. Okay, so I have this turned off. I could turn it on, it doesn't really matter. Every single TCISD for me essentially is technically unfiltered, so that doesn't matter for me. delete inverse TCISDs. So this is deleting TCISDs that have failed, and then you want to have show inverse true CISD on if you guys want to see the inversion TCISDs too. If you don't like inversion ones, that's fine. Just have this turned off, and that way it will just show only regular TCISDs. So as you can see, it updates, removes that one there, okay? But I like to use both, so I have both turned on. Color customizations, pretty self-explanatory. Text size, this is the TCISD itself. You can have it huge if you wanted to. Don't know why you would. I like mine nice and subtle, so I have mine on small, okay? Now, these are the filters, so you can have it show only TCISDs that occur after 2-stage sequential SMT or 1 stage. Filter by true open, and it can be stacked true opens as well, and filter by premium and discount, okay? This also has a watermark, so you can turn it on. Again, if you've already got like the toolkit one, for example, then you don't need 2 at once, so you can just turn 1 off on one of the indicators, okay? So those are my exact settings. Again, very customizable. You guys can play around with those and fit those exactly to your liking, okay? And now, obviously, if you go back in the charts, you guys can see sort of how powerful the TCISD concept really is, marked by the indicator, okay? Inversion TCISDs for those continuations, DCISDs to mark, the highs and the lows, okay? Generally, if you can get yourself in line with the direction of price, if you get good at reading price action, every single TCISD that forms in line with that direction is probably going to work. I mean, entry, short entry, start pending, then we get a bullish one, then we get a quick little short one, and then again, a few more short ones here, a bullish one there. Like, you guys can see truly when indicators are displayed on your chart, how powerful the concepts that I speak about really are, honestly. And it's great to have them marked for you, so you don't have to do anything. You can just sit back, just trade your time window. Oh, there's a TCISD, I'm bullish on the day, let me take a long. It's as simple as that. And now the fourth indicator of today's video is going to be the SMT fill Oracle. So this is part of our free suite, so you guys can search this right up on TradingView and get access to this one immediately. Now, an SMT fill will essentially show you a divergence across closely correlated asset classes between gaps, okay? One asset trades into a gap, one asset fails to trade into a gap. Now, this SMT fill indicator has all the SMT fill variants. So variant 1, 2, 3, one asset trades into a gap, one doesn't. One asset trades below 50% of a gap, one doesn't. One asset fills a gap completely, and the other asset doesn't. It will alert you of all of the 3 variants. It also shows you live SMT fill detections. So as the SMT fills are occurring in real time, it will mark those out on your chart directly. You can preview past SMT fills as well. So you can look back upon, what did the previous 4 hour do? Oh, we got an SMT fill down on the low. Cool, I can frame an entry off that. Customizable watermark as well, so you can have it show the asset, the time frame, and also the SMT fill Oracle. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the charts again, and I'll show you guys how to grab this indicator and exactly how I have mine set up. Now let's move on to our fourth indicator of today's video, another completely free one. So let's jump into that right now. So here is the SMT fill indicator on the charts. Already you guys can see how powerful SMT fills really are. Look at this. Beautiful long, beautiful short from there as well, okay? How do you get access? This one's completely free, completely free, okay? SMT fill, Oracle, boom. Get access, click book our trades. You guys can view it there, or you can kind of favorite it and add it to your indicators from this page here, okay? So super simple. Then settings. How do I have mine set up? Auto triad turned on. You guys can customize it. Maximum gaps. This is how many gaps it will show previously, okay? So if you only want it to show the last 3, that's fine. If we turn this on, you guys can see if we click OK, give it time to update here, then it will remove a couple of these here, and it'll show just that one there. If we go to the 1 minute, for example, you'll see it'll only show sort of 3 SMT fills here. All right, come back to it. So you guys can have it show just 3, 5, whatever it may be, 10, 15, whatever you guys prefer, okay? You may only want to see, the past 2 or 3, then just click 3, okay? We'll keep it on 50 for now. Bullish gaps, bearish gaps, color customization, pretty self-explanatory, pretty clean. Gap borders, so this is, if you want it to essentially show a border around the gap. So right now you can see there's no outline in it. If you guys do want an outline sort of around it, then you guys can turn that on just like that, okay? I have that turned off, I think it's clean without, but you guys can have the choice for that. SMT fill divergence line, so this shows you what type of variant it is, okay? You can have it dotted, dashed, straight, whatever you want, okay? So as you can see, there's a dotted line here right at the very start of the gap. So this means the SMT fill was from one asset filling the gap completely, and one asset didn't even trade into the gap at all, okay? As you can see down here, there's a dotted line in the middle, so this means one asset, in this case NQ, did not trade below 50, whereas ES did trade below 50, okay? So it kind of shows you what variant it is just from the dashed line. It's pretty clean. Labels and text, self-explanatory. This is just, the name of it, etc., etc. Only show active gaps, so you can only have it show gaps that are kind of forming in real time if you guys would prefer to have that show. Again, another nice little watermark right there, which you guys can, have it show in the top right. If, for example, this is the only indicator of ours that you use, you can have it show the SMT fill. Custom phrase in the top right. So if you give it a second, we actually got this one set to the center right now. You can have it, wherever you want. But as you guys can see, it shows right there. If you turn the text color and opacity to 100, then it will show the triad, the time frame, and also the asset that we are viewing currently. Okay, so again, another completely free indicator. SMT fill, you can use SMT fills to build that higher time frame bias. You can use them for entries. It's a very nice sort of concept to use and incorporate into your trading. Literally no downside, no negative effect to it at all. It's just an extra confluence. Okay, and now finally, last but not least, we have the statistical bias Oracle indicator. Again, this is another completely free indicator, and this is one that I use to gauge my daily bias. Okay, you can have it show you the 4-hour bias, the 1 hour, 15, 5 minute, hell, even the 1 minute. This essentially uses the candle closure methodology that I speak on. I'm not saying that I invented it, but I use it and I've spoken on it before on my channel. So essentially what it does is it looks back upon the previous candle closure, depending on the time frame that you set it on. So if you set it on the daily, look back upon the previous day's close, and depending on how that candle closed across the triad, it will give you a percentage of how likely that bias is to play out. So the features of this indicator is the bias time frame, the draws on liquidity. You can have it mark the draw for you, the previous candle high or low. Bias table mode, so you can have different kind of modes to show the table, smaller or more of an advanced, bigger one. Asset bias validation, auto triad, and also custom triads. Okay, and again, it's an all-in-one indicator, less indicators to manage, very customizable, fast loading times with good performance, auto mode for multiple asset classes, and alerts for preset conditions. So now for the last time of this video, let's go ahead and jump into the charts and break down exactly how to grab this indicator and how I have mine set up. So now with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our fifth and final indicator of today's video. Again, another completely free indicator for you guys. All right, so we're now inside of the charts for the final time of today's episode, showcasing the statistical bias indicator Oracle. Again, another completely free one. How do we grab it? Indicators, statistical bias Oracle. Boom. Favorite it there. If it shows up, click on my name, whatever. Drop a boost, drop a comment, help support the indicators. Okay, so how do I have mine set up and what do the settings actually look like? So auto triad, turn that on. I don't know why mine's not turned on. I've already got the assets set, I guess, anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But you guys can turn that on. Again, it just detects the triad that you're looking at based on the asset. Bias time frame, so custom bias time frame. Turn that on, and you guys can see that you can then customize the bias candle. You guys can then see that you can customize the exact bias for the candle that you want here. So if you want to see the 4-hour candle closure and the bias built upon the triad, click on 4-hour. And what it'll do here in the table is it'll show the time frame that you selected and also one above. So the 4-hour to the daily. So you can see NQ, ES, and YM gave a bullish candle closure to the upside on the 4-hour on NQ, ES, YM. Also, the daily candle closure was a bullish one, NQ, ES, and YM. So the overall rating for the triad is bullish bias. Okay, then you can have it show the drawn liquidity. So you can see here it's actually marking out the previous 4-hour candle high. So what you can do on the lower time frame, you can have that marked for you. So right now on the 5 minute, you can see it showing the sort of drawn liquidity right there for the 4-hour candle closure on the 5 minute. So you guys can look for a 5-minute entry technique and trade it up towards the 4-hour candle closure. Essentially drawn liquidity. Okay, so super clean stuff. Asset bias validation, so it can be lower time frame plus higher time frame with the overall rating, or it can be lower time frame plus higher time frame. And also triad bias rule, you can have it all three, majority, all the current asset. Okay, so current asset, it just shows you the bias based on the current asset NQ that you're on, or you can have it show majority, the overall bias based on if there's maybe 4 bullish closures for the overall trade and maybe 3 bearish ones. The overall bias will be bullish. All three is it'll take into account all the assets that you're viewing and generate a bias based on the average of the candle closure, bullish or bearish. Okay, bullish color, bearish color. So this is just if it's bearish, it'll say bear and it'll be in red. Bullish, it'll say bull and be in green. Okay, drawn liquidity line, you can change the colors of these. Drawn liquidity text, again, change the color of it, whatever you guys want to do. Okay, now a cool feature as well is any time frame, if you've got the drawn liquidity marked, it will show it for you. So I can go to the 1 minute and it'll still show me the drawn liquidity for the 4-hour on the 1 minute. Super clean, super cool. We'll look for a 1 minute entry up to the 4-hour high, for example. But the time frame that we selected, which is the 4-hour, is that main one. If we go actually to the 4-hour, it will then give us a percentage based on the candle closure, so it's a bit different now because, so as you can see, we're in replay mode, so it's obviously a little bit glitchy here, but this candle is printing currently. It's got 1 hour, 4 minutes left. How did the previous candle to this one close? Okay, this was a bearish continuation candle signature. So as you can see, the 4 hour is bearish on NQ, ES, and YM. However, the daily is bullish on NQ, ES, and YM. So what it does is calculates an overall percentage of historical data. By the way, this is going back and it's collecting all the historical data. So there's a chance that the bias, so if you guys come back into settings here, selected here, asset bias validation, low time frame only. So we've got the 4 hour, this will show us the 4 hour overall bias. Okay, so it's bearish on NQ, ES, and YM. So statistically, when NQ, ES, and YM all print a bearish 4 hour candle closure, you have a 64, almost 65% chance that the following 4 hour candle will print as bearish and at least hit that previous 4 hour low. Okay, so you got the percentage if you go to the specific time frame. If you go to the 1 hour, right, and we go to the 1 hour time frame, and here it will then show us the percentage. 66.72% chance that the whole triad is bearish and will trade towards that previous 1 hour low based on this candle closure when the new candle opens up. Okay, actually, to be fair, I think it may have been based off this candle closure over here. As you can see, it was a bearish reversal one, and this one did indeed trade down to that previous 1 hour low, so it did play out perfectly. Okay, so with that being said, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap up today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, I'd appreciate a like, subscription, comment down below any questions you've got about the indicators at all. If you guys have faced any problems, spot any bugs with them, any updates you want to see, drop them all in the comments down below. We're always continuously working hard on our indicators, and we have a lot more planned coming for the future as well. Okay, so if you guys do want any of the indicators we spoke about in today's video, go to oracleindicators.com. You guys can see all of the indicators that we've got. You can bundle them up together so you can get access to all the indicators for a reduced price. So if you guys do want that, oracleindicators.com, or if you just want like the free ones, you can just search them directly up on TradingView. Okay, drop a boost, drop a comment on the indicators. That shows support to us and shows me that you guys want me to continue dropping more indicators. Okay, and again, like I said, I've used these indicators to generate thousands of dollars in profits, and also my students as well, thousands of dollars in verified profits, hundreds of accounts passed, you guys name it. Okay, so yeah, with that being said, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.